I know you probably watch this video going, oh my gosh, he's going to tell us the magic secret, but that's the whole point. Hello, my friends, Simon Miller here, and you will have seen the thumbnail, and this is a picture that came from my Instagram, one of the major reasons I'm making this video, even though we did a similar video a couple of months ago, whatever it was. Very nicely, this was posted by my personal trainer, Ryan Mackins. I will make sure I leave some information down there, contact details, in case you too want to get a PT, and he's very good. He's done wonders for me. And I suppose the big question I wanted to answer is what I've called this video, how the hell did this happen? Which is always the kind of stuff you get on Instagram, especially in that weird request folder. The request folder, if you've never checked it out, I highly suggest that you do, because it's a barrel of laughs, and some of the things will make you roll on the floor. But a lot goes, I think there's more. Sometimes people see a picture, right, and you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. And if you ever watched my stuff before, you know that I like to be honest, I like to be transparent, I like to give you things in real terms, because I don't want you to get confused or taken aback or down, really, on your luck when it comes to health and fitness, because this stuff is supposed to be fun. So let's start back in April, which I believe the first picture is from, my before picture. I personally think I look terrible. You're obviously going to have your own opinion on that. But this was at a very, I don't want to say a low time in my life, because that gives the wrong impression in terms of 2023 vernacular. But I was at a very disappointing time, like I'm your mother. So essentially, I'd broken my hand wrestling, so I wasn't able to train properly. I had been struggling with, not struggling is the wrong word, I hadn't really found my momentum again after the pandemic had hit. I hated working out at home, and because I'd lost something that I was so passionate about, that kind of got me a bit sad, panda too. And ever since the gyms reopened and we could just get back on with normal life, I just hadn't found my feet again within. It wasn't just with the gym, it was with my work life, it was with my personal life, it was with my wrestling. All of these kind of bits and bobs still felt like they were a little bit all over the place, and I'm sure it was the same for you too. I don't think this is exclusive or unique to me. And I was still going to the gym. I always loved going to the gym, but my diet really wasn't on point at all. I was kind of eating and snacking and whatever I want. And then when I broke my hand, it took a good old while to fix. And at that point, I was a bit like, oh man, I can't go to the gym. I can't do, I was able to do cardio, which I kept doing, but I had to give it a good week's rest or whatever it was. I can't even remember now. I just go on what the doctor tells me, because I think that's always the best thing to do. Point was, I was feeling pretty miserable. My diet went out the window, and I was like, if I can't train, what should happen with brains is, oh, I can't train, I can't do exercise. Well, I make sure I get my diet sorted out, and then it's still bad, but at least we're doing something. If you're like me, like, oh, I can't train, screw it. Just going to go completely off the wagon. Now, I looked in the mirror. I think it was after a wrestling match once I had started wrestling again. And I was like, I don't like the way I look at all. I just don't, I have this singlet that I was using. I didn't really like the singlet either, because it didn't really make me feel like a wrestler. I had other wrestlers going, Miller, what are you doing? You work out, you need to go out there in your pants, in a very nice way, in a very supportive way. But I just didn't like the way I looked, and I had no confidence. So I thought, okay, well, even though I've been doing this for a long ass time, and I know I can hold myself accountable, and I know that I know the basics and the enhanced stuff, I like to think I have some knowledge. It's just got to the point in my life where I need a helping hand, I need a push in the right direction, I need some accountability, I need some discipline. So again, I don't want to get back into this story again. You can watch the other video, I'll make sure it's linked, but I was able to find Ryan, and we started working together. So what essentially, how did this happen? Well, I was going to the gym, probably not training as intense as I should, probably not with the best plan. I wasn't writing stuff down, I wasn't tracking my lifts. I had set days, but maybe I wasn't being as dedicated to it as I could be. So I went from that to a diet where, again, I was eating heavy protein meals, but I was obviously eating quantity-wise way too much, to a much more focused plan that focused on body parts that needed improving. For example, I've gone through numerous training plans with Ryan now. Sometimes we'll focus on shoulder work, and sometimes we're focused on chest work. We're still working muscle parts all the time in the week, but we actually look at the physique and go, okay, well, where do we need to sculpt to weigh out? What needs help? What doesn't need help? What can we rest for a little bit and come back to in a few weeks? But more importantly, which is always the important thing, I got my diet in check. That's all it is. Now, with the picture on the left, yes, it's lighting. I made sure this was on Instagram too. It's lighting. It's post-workout. I've got a bunch of pre-workout in me. If I took that picture 1 hour later at home, I look nothing like that. But as I've always said, that doesn't mean that if you are taking your post-workout selfies in a bathroom mirror where the lighting is good, etc., etc., I always think you should tell people that, but don't discount yourself. Don't be all like, oh, well, it doesn't mean that I've got myself in this shape. Yes, it does. If no one has ever been to the gym before, and they take a bunch of pre-workout, do a workout, and then take a picture in the gym mirror, that doesn't They're not going to look like that, right? So you still have to remember you put the time and you put the effort in order to come out the other side. That doesn't mean that it's not, I don't want to say misleading, because I'm not trying to misleading, I'm telling you. But on first sight, you may be like, oh my gosh, how does he look like that? Well, I don't look like that 24/7, but I'm clearly in much better shape than I was. But also, listen to the dates I'm telling you. That picture was taken the end of January. The other one is in April. Let's do it together like Sesame Street. I'm going to get this wrong now. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. It's 9 months. People have a kid in 9 months, right? You can actually create a human being in your stomach and pop them out in that amount of time, because this is the big message. Another reason why I wanted to make this video, and people are so astounded, I was patient with it because I understood that it took time, and I understood, ironically, there were going to be ups, and I understood that there were going to be downs, and I was like, okay, some weeks were really good, some weeks weren't so good. Some weeks I look in the mirror and go, oh my gosh, I can see it. Other weeks I'd be like, what the hell happened? Where did all of my gains go? That's all there was to it. And the diet was nothing, amazing. We started upping the calories, and then it decreased the calories to the point we got into a blah, 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 calorie deficit. Soon, when we hit a certain target weight, what we're going to try and do is introduce more food so that I can sort of stay super duper lean, or as lean as I want to. I'm not saying super duper lean, you know what I mean? Lean for me, but still try and, find that magical balance where you can retain that sort of jacked look, which I want for wrestling. Aesthetically, I want it like I can kick somebody's ass. But, get a little bit extra strength here, get a little bit of muscle here, basically building muscle in a calorie deficit, which you can do. So that's sort of the plan. But we're going to get there. We're not doing that right now because I haven't got to the first goal. And at the moment, my body won't lose any weight. We don't know why, but we're being patient and we're taking our time. And that's always what I would say to you as well. There is no rush with this stuff. It's something you sign up for to life. Now, if you're trying to get in shape in 30 days or whatever, because you're going on holiday, you have a photo shoot or a wedding, you have to understand that you're only going to be able to achieve so much doing that. Of course, there's another path that you are allowed to take. It's right there for you, and I'm not going to say that you should do it, and I'm not going to say that you shouldn't do it, because I'm not here to preach to you. But if you're like me, and you just like going to the gym, and you just want to get in the best shape possible, and you don't look big in a box, a coffin, that's what I'm talking about. Not that anyone that goes in that direction is going to do that. That's just my fear. So I'm like, you know what? I don't need to worry about it. You kind of just have to, one, accept what you're genetically capable of. Two, accept that you do have to put the work in. You've got to be intense in the gym, and you've got to have a diet that is serving you well. And then just keep that up, and you keep that up every single day, and accept that some days are going to be awesome and some days are not going to be as awesome. And that's it. I know you probably watch this video going, oh my gosh, he's going to tell us the magic secret, but that's the whole point. There is no magic secret. That goes back to the fitness magazines we always talk about, like the one thing you need to know to get jacked. And you read it and goes, drink lots of water. You're like, I knew that. And that's because all the information is already out there. Everything else, the motivation and the dedication is all on your shoulders. You can start today, you can start tomorrow, you can start in a week. My thing with it is, if you truly want to do it, you'll start right now. What is it, like midday or 11 a.m., whatever it is? You'll start right now. People that say I'm going to start my diet on Monday, they don't want to start a diet. There's nothing wrong with that. It's your life. Remember, you can choose to do whatever you want. You have freedom. But because people were very nice about these pictures, which I still struggle to share, like the picture on the left came about because Ryan very kindly said, send pictures every week. And he said, oh, Simon, send me one of I want to see what you look post-workout. And his reaction was very flattering. Like, he really did put a smile on my face. But I kid you not, right? That's how crazy I am. When I was sending it, I was like, man, I don't look very good. He's going to say it. Because you get in your own head about this stuff. It's ridiculous. And yes, I have body dysmorphia. We've talked about it before. But I'm all good with it. I accept it. So what? We can't all be perfect. We can't all be smashing it every single day. So just accept your problems. I mean, some are bigger than others, and you're going to have to reach out and talk to someone. That's massively too. But if it's something you're able to deal with individually, who even cares, man? No, there's no such thing as the perfect human being, and if there was, they would absolutely suck too. So, the only things I can probably tell you about, but now I'm pimping my wares. I am pimping my wares now, is that I did get a lot from taking Gorilla Mind supplements. But again, I'm affiliated with them, so you're not going to believe me. But that's up to you. I always say this. You got to decide where your trust lies. But the pre-workout Gorilla Mind I think is awesome. I take their Gorilla Mind AR. I love that. It's just like 1-2% kind of a stuff. And they've got this new one out now, which, to be fair, I wasn't using during this. I've only been using it for my wrestling matches, called Spawn, or Respawn, I should say. So it's kind of marketed as something for gamers. It's so much more than that. If you're looking for, like, I had a main event on Sunday at Sov Pro, which I'm going to do a video on soon. And it's it's all about focus and motivation. So I should take some of that as a wonderful supplement. Anyway, just now it's like a trick. Haha, got you. But if you want supplements that I use them. I think they're very good. That's why I joined up with them to begin with. But it's totally your call. GorillaMind.com/Simon. Just go Simon, get 10% off. I may as well throw it in there. Otherwise, you don't know about it. But it's more over than that. I mean, maybe they helped me get there a little bit sooner, but would I have gotten the same shape otherwise? I mean, you would eventually. Maybe you'd be lacking a little something, because of course they do give you an edge. That's why they exist. But just take your time with it and just believe you can get there. And don't compare yourself to anyone else. Don't compare yourself to me. Don't compare yourself to The Rock or anyone else that you look up to. Use that as motivation, but also make sure to pat yourself on the back for the achievements that you're able to make in your own life, because that requires a lot of hard work, and hard work deserves to be rewarded. So that's it. That's enough of that. Leave a comment below. Subscribe, like, share. You know all the deal. We talked about Gorilla Mind. At Instagram, Simon316. If you want to see more pictures like this, they do go up there as well on my wrestling stuff. Same with Twitter at Simon316. Patreon.com for the Simon316 to support me with money. Again, transparent, honesty. That's what it's there for. Cameo, if you want a Valentine's Day shout out, that is around the corner. And merchandise. We've got wrestling tees, loads of wrestling tees going up soon, pro wrestling tees, and my Samson Athletics Fitness Palace of Love tees are still there. All the links are in the description, and again, I get a little bit of money. It's a way to support the channel. You get some good quality merch, hopefully. Otherwise, good luck with whatever you are doing. Believe that you can do it. There were days where I didn't, but you know, we get there eventually, and I look forward to seeing your own pictures very soon.